Good afternoon, race fans. Welcome here to Daytona for tonight's Daytona Clash here in the Elite Racing League. My name is Robert Hill Jr. Joining me here tonight is Chris Wright. Chris, welcome to the Clash here tonight, my friend.
Yeah, should be exciting after what we just seen in the Open. I expect a lot of chaos out here.
Absolutely, and tonight's race is going to be a little bit different. We're going to have two 25-lap segments that will allow these drivers to get out there and have a little bit of fun, and they are currently on the grid. Chris, let's take a look and see who's going to lead us off from the pole, and it looks to be the 70 machine of Jesse Racines alongside the 90 of Scott Crump. Row number 2, William White and Corey Abbott. Row 3, Ethan Stanley and Justin Fuller, with row 4 being Jay Connor.
Hey, I got to cut you off right here. I do not believe that's the lineup. I believe they are going to get lined up here on the parade lap.
All right, so we're going to do something different. We're going to leave it to Chad here and see what in the world is going on out here. But there's some cars. They're doing some stuff there on pit road. There's Jesse Racines and Scott Crump sitting there. William White and Corey Abbott. Ethan Stanley and Justin Fuller. Jay Connor and Colin Culpa there. Andrew Hardcastle and Tyler Fody. Fody has no sponsors despite winning the championship. There's Ethan Burrell and Garrison Hogan. Trey Idson, Matthew Weeks chilling out there. That's David Tooker and Chad Frankenfield. Trey Holmes, Leighton Dorgard and Josh Robin. Johnny Thomas, the winner of the Open a few minutes ago, alongside Josh Adams. There's Gerald Campbell representing the Simply podcast tonight. And, of course, Kyle Hanshaw out there as well. Also expecting to see Josh Personette in the field a little bit later on, I do believe, as he is here in the server. And like you mentioned, we're going to have a little bit of a shuffle, so we're not going to have an official lineup here, but Chad Frankenfield going to start up at the front of the field, Chris Wright.
Yeah, he's going to start at the front. And then second place is going to be the car that comes out right behind him. Third place will be right behind second place. And so on and so on. We'll see how they get lined up. There was a random draw that determined qualifying. We do know for sure. We know the 5 that'll start at the back, right? We know Corey Abbott, Johnny Thomas, Kyle Hanshaw. Who else is back there? Colin Culpa and Corey Abbott. Did I say Corey Abbott twice?
Sure, you might have. Corey Abbott likes being said. There he is right there. He's looking like he's fresh out of the Cars movie.
Yeah.
Couple guys not here tonight that were expected to race. Vincent Isabella, R.C. Enerson, both drivers not going to start this race. So looks like 23 cars will end up starting rather than 25 that we expected here tonight.
Tate's not here either.
Tate Lytle also, like you said, not here. That's another one. As you see William White coming up to take his spot. That's this is a driver, actually these two side by side, Trey Idson, William White, two drivers that I think we can expect to see a lot of in this Cup Series this season. Two rookies, and actually right behind them, Justin Fuller, another very strong rookie, following the guy that loves to go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 25 wide, Chad Frankenfield, the pole sitter in this race. Now, Chris, you...
And a Leighton Dorgard. That was the 5th car in out of the Open.
That's right. A Leighton Dorgard also made it in. Now, Chris, you were in the Open not too long ago here tonight. What's something these drivers can expect out here? What's the conditions like?
Well, side drafting is insane, and it kind of, the side draft at the front of the field controls the whole field. When somebody at the front gets side drafted, if they're on the bottom, it kills the whole bottom lane. And if somebody side drafts the top, it kills the whole top lane, and it kind of ebbs and flows. And the checkups are massive when that lane is the lane that gets side drafted. And so that caused some wrecks, it causes some chaos, it causes some stack ups. And so it will be interesting to see how that plays out tonight.
Definitely going to be interesting to see how things play out throughout the race this evening, but looks like we are getting set to go green. Another thing to watch is we are only going to have manually thrown caution flags tonight, Chris, so whoever, or actually it's going to be up to us. If we see something that's fit for a yellow, we're going to be throwing it. So you and I both have yellow flags in hand ready to go. And
I'm holding the flag.
Somebody got a special set of keys to use between half 1 and 2, Chris. You know anything about that?
If you guys thought Talladega was crazy in the 80s, wait until you see what I'm fixing to do tonight.
I'm just picturing that moment when Richard Petty paced the field into his classic car and just didn't want to get off the track. That's exactly what I'm expecting with our pace car driver between halves 1 and 2. But looks like we're going to get set to go green here. Let's check in on Barney the flagman and see if he's ready.
Who's your pick to win?
He's ready.
You haven't made a pick?
My pick to win tonight, I'm going to go with... Oh, this is tough. I'm going to go Andrew Hardcastle, driving the number 22 machine. How about you?
Man, I'm going to go with the winner from the Open. I'm going to go Johnny Thomas. Old JT back there, number 91, Manscaped machine. Going to get her done.
Hard to go against Johnny Thomas, one of the best in the business. Pace cars off. Barney the flagman does have that green flag in hand, and we are underway.
Great start. Everybody's got the new paint scheme, like the new. It's like when you start school, you got that new pair of shoes, showing it off. A lot of these guys haven't talked to each other, since the season ended about 4 weeks ago. So not a whole lot of time.
Not a whole lot of time, but still time between each season that we've had here. You could already see a breakup between the first and second groups out here, Chris. Already some separation from Garrison Hogan
and I'm seeing
back
Chad
to Kyle
already
Henshaw.
trying to play both lanes.
Yeah, Chad trying to protect a little bit is not going to go
And
well.
he's in the sucker hole.
He's getting sucked here as here comes the 51 of Justin Fuller to his outside. That absolutely kills the momentum of that top lane. They're going to fall back now as Frankenfield getting all the way back outside of that top 10. He's going to find himself now under pressure from Josh Robbins. So nearly to the back of the top 20 is Frankenfield.
Yeah, Chad not too happy with that move, but it's a race.
It's a motor race. That's it. As William White takes over the race lead with help from Trey Holmes. Trey Holmes is a fantastic pusher. Very good on these super speedways, Chris. I've had the opportunity to race with him a fair bit out here. He's been my pusher. I've pushed him a couple times. And it's always a really good time working with Trey Holmes. So watch for him to be someone to watch here throughout the event. David Tooker just behind as well. You're already seeing the Pro Edge fueled up Lake Norman guys all getting up towards the front. And Tooker, Holmes, Adams, Stanley, Weeks, Crump, Burrell, Tyler Fody, pretty much all of the top 10.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you right here, too, that, as you see Trey pull up there in front of Josh, caused a major stack up, going to cause our first wreck of the night. Oh, the 15, the 37's involved. That's Gerald Campbell down there. I believe they're calling for a yellow.
Everything off the racetrack, I do believe, Chris. Did you throw that one, Chris?
I did not. Chad Frankenfield threw a yellow.
As we do see William White, Trey Holmes, David Tooker, Ethan Stanley, and Josh Adams, the top 5 here. Caution did come out. We'll see what happened. It involved Ethan Burrell. I'm not sure about this.
I think they just stacked up. When Trey pulled up, I'm not sure that the rest of the lane
I see Justin
was
Fuller
ready,
involved there.
and it stacked up the whole lane.
So if you take a look at it, Chris, Fuller gets into the back of Connor. That turns into a bit of a chain reaction. It spins Ethan Burrell out. He goes all the way down to the apron. So the wreck was not actually on the racetrack for more than a mere second or two. In past super speedway experiences here in Elite, that would not have been a yellow flag.
Yeah, that's not that. I mean, that really wasn't our decision there. But yeah, the wreck just started where Trey pulls up to the top. I don't think Matthew and Ethan saw it coming. The whole lane then stacks up, and they just kind of run into each other, which is what I was talking about. That's what happens. You know, the runs come massively huge. And we saw Chad get put in the middle there, 3 wide at the start of the race. If you're going to go through the middle, you better have a spot to land, because if you get stuck in the middle with the car on either side pulling you back with the side draft in this car, oh, it's brutal.
Johnny Thomas just had a brief moment on pit road. We'll back that one up here and see what just happened. Telling someone to pay attention. Not sure what just happened there.
I believe it was Andrew Hardcastle.
He was telling Hardcastle to pay. Oh, right there. Yeah. The little bit of contact you just saw right there. Hardcastle into the back of the Johnny Thomas machine. Just unfortunate, but another lesson for some of those new drivers when it comes to, well, actually all the series in general. Gotta stay to the right on pit road, Chris.
Yeah, I think that situation, though, is one where they were both pulling into their pit boxes relatively soon.
It's just unfortunate for sure. But what I'm interested in seeing here is how good of a restart William White can get as the race leader. He hasn't been in this situation in the Cup Series before. Now kind of getting thrown a bit of a curveball. We'll see what happens here on this upcoming restart. Lights are still on the iRacing.com pace car. But William White now thinking, do I want David Tooker or do I want Ethan Stanley as my pusher? If I'm William White, I think I'm going to go with David Tooker on the inside, because you don't want to line up Trey Holmes and David Tooker.
I think right now it's too early to be playing the...
It's definitely too early, but you still got to think who's going to help you.
Because in a race like this, as a driver, this is going to be the best practice you get before the duels. Probably not going to get a whole lot of coordination to get in a pack this big before it actually matters. You know, the duels pay points to the top 10, set your starting position for that race matters more now than it used to. So this is a race where if I got shuffled, I wouldn't necessarily hate getting shuffled and trying to pick my way through the field to kind of learn how to do it, learn how to take runs, what you need to do. Like, this is going to be the best practice that you get before races that matter.
That's absolutely it. And of course, some of these drivers in the field, you're going to see new paint schemes on board their cars, but you're also going to see guys that do not have all of their contingencies ready as of yet as they prepare for the upcoming season, such as Ethan Burrell and Tyler Fody, of course, still waiting on their paint schemes. Hopefully, we'll see those ahead of Wednesday night's qualifying and duels that can be seen right here on the Elite Racing Network. That'll be with Dave Huckleberry, Gerald Campbell, and David Westergreen joining the team this season as well. I'm not sure if Alexander Ned will be there for qualifying and duels, but I do believe he's expected to be there for the Daytona 500 coming up in just 1 week's time.
And when is qualifying on Wednesday, right? It's going to be like a little 2-hour block, right?
I do believe we kick off at 7:30.
So we're going to try like zoom through that, I guess. Depending on how that goes, I'll drop in. I'll drop into the booth and give some time and talk about some things.
Absolutely. We'll probably pop in a time or two, yourself and myself, Chris, as that qualifying block can definitely be long. I know I go out fairly early. I think I'm going out around 23rd out of 50-something, 60 cars. So
well, that's about middle. That's about where I go out. I'm like,
yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. I want to go out either first or last. I'm not going to be on the pole anyways. It's going to be Josh Adams. Let's go green here. Pace car off. William White going to find that loud pedal. And he does, but he gets a big jump ahead of David Tooker That's not what you want to see, especially with Tucker and Adams just behind him here. Those drivers will likely be able to get a good run here, but Tucker all over the rear end of William White this time. As we look a little bit further back, seeing some shuffling, it's Scott Crump and Matthew Weeks as a Leighton Norgard takes a little peek up to the high side. We'll see if that works out for him. He's currently just behind, I believe that to be Colin
Josh Adams. Josh Adams looking for the lead.
Josh Adams looking for the lead. Johnny Thomas looking for safety as he drops down to the inside lane.
Now this is where I think Josh needs to realize what happened. I know we watched the Open. He was in there as a spotter for me. If he were to get down against that inside line, he would bring them right back. But it looks like they're actually pulling ahead up there. Just got good help in Trey, probably. Like they're communicating. That's good help in Trey. Just
Absolutely. Absolutely good help with Trey Holmes there. Of course, the Pro Edge fueled up conglomerate, including 21 Savage, that has Josh Adams out front. I believe that to be the only 21 Savage representative in this race tonight. That team took a rather large shuffle after last season. So that will be a team to watch their changes this year. As the inside lane has really died off, William White leading the inside has fallen all the way back into that 8th position as Chad Frankenfield able to battle back up on the high side. Looks like Frankenfield finding his composure and finding his way back up to the front here as Gerald Campbell gonna fall back, as is Ethan Burrell. So a lot of shuffling out here on the racetrack, Chris. That's something to be expected throughout the event, and of course the Daytona 500 still to come next week as things get a little close there with Justin Fuller. They do nearly make contact.
I think we've had 2 cars fall off the draft too, right? Johnny Thomas, Kyle Hanshaw have willingly lost the draft.
Yeah, Johnny Thomas, Johnny Hanshaw, or Kyle Hanshaw. Kyle Hanshaw falls to the rear as Colin Culpa going to fall back as well. But yeah, those drivers have fallen a good bit off of this pack. I think knowing Johnny Thomas, he's expecting something to happen here momentarily. He's been involved in these races way too many times to know that something's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd like losing the draft, but you do know there's a caution in 15 laps, so this should be okay.
That's exactly it as well. I mean, they're not going to lose the lead lap in 15 laps.
Well,
but speaking
Weeks.
of a lead change, there's Zeus. Matthew Weeks drops down to the inside with help from Ethan Stanley. They're going to rock it forward. William White gets his life vest on, and he's going to get pulled back up to the front here. As you see just behind them, that's Scott Crump and Corey Abbott working with that inside lane, pushing them towards the front. Nice drive here so far from a couple guys that had to start at the rear.
Yeah, and what you'll see here is that outside lane is going to start getting the momentum back, and they'll have a decision to make in that bottom lane about do they stay down there or do they pull up. Big push here from Trey Holmes down the backstretch onto the back of Josh Adams. Ethan Stanley's got one more set of corners before he has to make a decision, I believe. I believe down the front stretch here, they're going to get a big run. And Stanley's going to have to decide if he wants to sit in line there. Actually, they've gotten 3 wide back there. That's kind of hurt the outside lane. No real help after the first 3 or 4 cars.
Here comes Stanley.
Pulls up.
Ethan Stanley to the high side ahead of Josh Adams. Now, Matthew Weeks going to ditch the inside as well. He's going to go up and work with Ethan Stanley and Josh Adams. See what they can do at the top of the racetrack. William White going to lead from the inside lane. His pusher is David Tucker with help from Scott Crump and Corey Abbott. William White going to rock it out to the race lead.
And I'm going to give a kudos to Lake Norman and Ethan Stanley, because if you squint your eyes, that is the 2001 Mark Martin Pfizer Viagra machine there on a Chevrolet.
Well, he is pushing hard out here, so we'll see what he can do as he is going to fall all the way to the tail of the top 10.
What's the rule about that? You don't want to push hard for over 4 hours?
Yeah, I think you got to see a doctor. You got to see a doctor or something. We'll keep an eye on Ethan Stanley and his pushing, that's for sure. As Scott Crump going to go to the top. He's got help from Colin Culpa. Another driver we haven't really seen much in these Cup cars, now having his opportunity to push one of the best out here in Scott Crump. Is Crump going to go to the high side of David Tooker? Crump now going to fall back the inside lane, getting that push. It's White, Tooker, and Abbott, the top three. Two Abbott Motorsports drivers in that top three right now. Great practice for those guys leading into the Daytona 500 next week.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, that top lane is not where you want to be. Josh Adams sat there, and he was content to run in second place. Well, now he's back here on the top of 3 wide and just backing up. And Fody's sitting right there backing up as well. That's just how quick these lanes change with the momentum. I mean, it'll flip on you, and you won't even have time to react or know it. You see Scott Crump, we saw him work to the front, and then he's backed up on the top now.
As we take a look here, like you mentioned, high side cooking a little bit here. That's Jesse Racimus gonna lead from the top side. Racimus with help from Crump and Culpa. As on the inside, it's Willie White with now Corey Abbott. As David Tooker going to jump up to the top. He takes advantage of that run that Jesse Racimus is getting here. We'll see what happens as Racimus going to give him a big push. Fuller falls back towards the rear. Looks like everything is a-okay, but David Tooker gonna go to the race lead with Jesse Racimus and Scott Crump behind him. Here comes Culpa to the inside. Colin Culpa gonna sneak through and get ahead of William White. We'll see what happens here. Tooker back down to the bottom. These drivers...
I think what happened there is Tooker got sideways. Jesse was pushing so hard it got Tooker sideways.
It's okay. It gives us... Oh, he's very loose. Maybe it's not okay, as Tooker was sideways there, like you mentioned. Now Scrumpy gonna come down to the inside. It's Scott Crump now with David Tooker and Colin Culpa behind him. This might not go too well as Tooker gets pushed up and out of the way. He had no space left, but Culpa gonna get all over the rear end of Scott Crump here. These drivers racing like it's the end of the Daytona 500.
Oh,
Chris
Josh
Wright.
Adams is around. Oh, nobody spun. Nobody has spun.
Wow. Fuller 3 wide with Eidson and Campbell. Wow. That could have been bad.
It could have.
That could have been real bad, Chris, because there were some cars right there. Ethan Burrell gonna go 3 wide. It's Ethan Stanley, Ethan Burrell, and while we can call him Ethan as well, Jesse Racimus up on the high side as things are getting a little spooky. Up at the front, it's Corey Abbott to the high side with Willie Blanco. Billy Blanco and Corey Abbott going for the race lead up top. Scott Crump and Colin Culpa on the inside. Had to get used to that name. Don't really call him too much on this side of things. And here comes Pro. Here comes Pro
with the block.
Here comes Pro Edge up on the high side. That is not Owen Wilson. That is David Tooker up top with help from Ethan Burrell and Jesse Racimus. Only one of the Rassamai here tonight is Jaden, not in the show, but I'm sure he's watching his pops race this one. As we are 7 laps away from the halftime break, Chris Wright, that will be a simulated red flag, which will also include a random inversion, I do believe, that'll send a car that's randomized from the top 10 to the lead and kind of flip things a little bit there.
Yeah, and this pack has really dwindled down after that almost crash that we had. We're looking at about, what, 10 cars or so? 11 cars? But they're still racing just as hard.
Absolutely.
Now, I believe, what is this? The halfway point, the halfway mark of this race pays $25,000?
Yes, all out of Chad Frankenfield's pocket.
Big push on the top. Ethan Burrell up there to second after we saw him spinning earlier.
David Tooker, Ethan Burrell Jesse Racimus leading the high side. On the inside, though, it's Billy Blanco, Corey Abbott, and Scott Crump trying to work their way forward. Of course, Billy Blanco being William White down there on the inside in that 43 machine.
And the top has pulled 3 cars clear, working on 4.
Tucker, Burrell, and Rasami up top. I do believe Trey Eidson was taking a little peeky. He was thinking about going there, not able to do it. As further back, we'll take a look at this pack led by Tyler Fody. It's Fody, followed by Chad Frankenfield, Garrison Hogan, Josh Robin, Trey Holmes is there, Matthew Weeks, Leighton Norgard, and then leading a third pack, Andrew Hardcastle, Jay Connor, Josh Adams, Kyle Hanshaw, and Johnny Thomas. So Hanshaw and Thomas getting a few friends there towards the rear.
Here we go, William White pulling back with a big run here. He's pulled back up alongside 4th. He had fallen back to about 7th. And now they're pulling back forward. They got Ethan Stanley down there behind them. Scott Crump.
White gonna back up to his teammate Corey Abbott, try to get a little bit of a push here, see what they can do. Those noses not looking like they're lining up too well from my point of view, but from here, well, it looks okay. It looks all right. We'll see what they can do. Like you mentioned, Justin Fuller gonna push down to the inside ahead of William White. White gonna get all over his rear end and see what he can do to push him to the front.
It's all Tucker so far, and Ethan's probably going to stay with him. Ethan Burrell probably not going to make a move.
Yeah, I doubt he's going to make any moves here. Tucker, Burrell, Racimus probably going to stay together. You may see Trey Eidson jump down ahead of his teammate, Justin Fuller, if they get a run. Oh, Fuller!
Oh, Fuller tagged.
Wow. And he does catch it. Justin Fuller able to hang on to it and get back in line at the tail of the top 10. He may lose the draft, Chris, but a couple things are going to save him here. He has another group behind him with Fody, and we're also only 3 laps away from halfway. So even if he does lose time, absolutely. Top lane kind of singling out here, just having a couple laps of calmness, which is always nice. And again, with the halfway break, Chris, this will not bring out a caution, but it will take the whole field to pit road for a brief stoppage.
Here comes the bottom again. Two laps left here in the stage. Tucker's got it right now. They're pushing hard. 3 cars deep. 3 deep on the top.
3 deep on the top. Culpa into the outside wall. As we look a little bit further back, the Fody pack able to just hang out and go for a little bit of a ride. As now we see an inside lane starting to form here, Chris, led by Ethan Stanley. We'll see what Stanley can do to try to work his way up to the front.
Yeah, I think they're going to need like one more car to pull down in front of them. If I'm that 70 machine, I'm pulling down, and I'm gonna let the Viagra machine push me right here. They've got 4 cars lined up on the bottom, really tight. They just need one guy to pull down from that top 3. They need that top 3 to kind of break apart, make a decision here. And Rasmus, if I'm Rasmus, I'm making the decision to pull down right here.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on Jesse. We'll see if he opts to come down. Not sure that he will. As Tucker, Burrell leading out front. Just behind them is where we find Jesse Racimus. Things getting a little bit wiggly there around the Ethan Stanley machine. Here comes Trey Eidson down to the inside. Don't know that he's going to be able to get there, Chris, as he's going to go side by side with Gerald Campbell. And as they come to the line.
Oh, here goes Burrell trying to pull out to take the lead. I don't think he got it. I think it's going to be Tucker.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
And we are back here under red flag conditions as we have the second half coming up here. Why don't we go ahead and pull in our driver that was running third at the time of the caution, Jesse Racema, standing by with Chris Wright.
Well, Jesse, we just got time for a quick chat. Take us through that first half there, what you anticipate the second half, and what do you think you got here for the end?
Hopefully I got something to keep up with these guys. I mean, Hooker, Burrell, and myself kind of got it up there on the high side, and we had a nice line going, so hopefully we could just keep that going through the second half and keep it up in the front.
All right, Jesse, we look forward to seeing what you got here in the second half of the race. Good luck. Keep the wheels down, and maybe we'll talk to you over there in Victory Lane.
All right, sounds good. Thanks.
That was Jesse Racema, our third place runner at the half. Now we're going to talk to Ethan Burrell. Ethan Burrell, you got a copy, my friend?
Yeah, what's going on, buddy?
Running second here halfway through the event. What's your outlook here for half number 2? And can we expect that 37 to be parked in Victory Lane for Do Good Motorsports here tonight?
Oh, absolutely. We're going for it. Yeah, I just I was working close with Gerald Campbell, having a good run there. Survived some carnage and linked up with one of my old teammates, David Tooker, and was just trying to separate the pack a little bit there, and tried to pass him coming to the line, but didn't quite get him. But yeah, man, we're full aggression. We're going for it.
Well, that's the way to be, buddy. Best of luck here in half number 2.
Thanks, man.
And Chris Wright now standing by with our leader here at the half, David Tooker.
Well, Tooker, were you able to learn anything there in those closing laps that you'll be able to use for later, and what's it going to take to be able to be the guy standing in Victory Lane later?
Well, for starters, I learned my opinion and offset are a little off, so that was going into this race. I was not really expecting that, so it's almost like having to drive a new car. Yeah, the offset's a little tweaked to the right, so I'm having to hold the wheel a little more to the right, which I'm not used to. But no, I feel like we learned a lot there. Outside lane is super fast tonight. I feel like the bottom can't really get the energy formed unless you get maybe 2 or 3, maybe 4 cars linked up on the bottom. The top side's been pulling all night long, but we had a good first run there. Hopefully this luck continues. Usually my luck's not pretty good at these plate tracks, but we're starting off pretty good right here.
All right, David, good luck here in the second half of the race, and maybe we'll be talking to you over there in the Victory Lane.
All righty, thank you.
Well, that was David Tooker, our leader here at the half, Chris Wright. And Chris, what are we doing here? What's coming up here in the next few moments?
Well, I don't know what's coming up. I believe we have some kind of random draw coming, right?
So the random draw has taken place. What we're going to do is actually invert the top 9. So when we go green once again, what's going to happen, Chris, is, well, we're going to take a couple drivers up from the back half of the top 10. Meaning, when we go green again, it's going to be Trey Eidson, Corey Abbott, William White, Ethan Stanley, Scott Crump, Gerald Campbell, Jesse Racimus, Ethan Burrell, David Tooker, and Colin Culpa, the top 10. So they're going to go ahead and try to line the field up. We're going to step away once again. Actually, you know what? Let's talk to some more guys in the field. See what's up. Let's talk to William White. He was leading a bunch of laps there. See if we can have a word with him. Hey, William White, it's Robert up in the booth. You got a copy, my friend?
Hello there.
First off, you were leading a bit there. How'd that feel?
That was a lot of fun there leading for quite a few laps. I don't know if I've got the most so far, but yeah, no, it's been good fun.
Definitely seems like it has been good fun for you here, as we do see you guys starting to get lined up. We see my colleague Chris Wright out there in a Corvette. That's pretty cool, but what's your outlook here for half number 2, Will?
I think I'm starting third here. I think just behind Corey, obviously a teammate, so that's good to have some teammates to work with. I was working with David Tooker there a little bit towards kind of the beginning of that first half. So yeah, I'm hoping to firstly survive, make it to lap 15, and hopefully see if we can win this thing.
Well, buddy, we wish you the best of luck here in half number 2, and hopefully we'll talk to you at the end of it.
Thank you very much.
Well, Chris, that was William White, our third he's nothing right now. He's just out there in the field. He's restarting third, but pretty darn cool to have him leading some laps. And somebody's behind the wheel of a car right now, Chris. Is it you?
That would be me out here in this Corvette.
That is Chris Wright. We're going to ride on his gearbox view when the field does get going once again. But let's see if we can talk to somebody else. Who do we want to talk to? Let's go through. Is Goody in this race, Chris?
I don't think so.
Let's talk to Fody. Tyler Fody, you got a copy?
Sure do.
What are you doing out there, buddy? You haven't been up in the top 5 yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Guys are kind of crazy out here, and I was just hanging out on the top expecting it to start rolling, and then it kept alternating, like bottom and top, and I just kind of stayed content where I was and started getting shuffled back there. And then Fuller came up the middle doing something crazy, got us all wrecked and checked up and got the field split, but we're going to be a little more aggressive, I think, here and try and work with some people, get back to the front.
Now, are you taking lessons learned from your old man for this race?
No, I hope he's watching, taking lessons here, because he's got the duels coming up.
Well, it's going to be a good one, Tyler. Best of luck here in half number 2, my friend.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And Chris, obviously, still trying to get everyone sorted out here on the racetrack. Why don't we go ahead and pull Ryan Gable in? He wanted to join us here for a bit. We'll see what's going on with him. Ryan, what's up, my friend? How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thought I'd come up here and help you boys out as we get to the conclusion of this historic event here.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a fun one here as somebody decided to give Chris Wright keys to a Corvette to pace the field. I don't know how this is going to go.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I wanted to join y'all, but I see that you've got 2 guys in the booth, and one of them has just left the booth and hopped in the pace car, so...
That's right.
Yeah,
I'm not pulling into the pits either.
He
We're gonna win
stole
this
the
thing.
pace car, and now he's out here. We're going to have to wreck him to get him back to pit road.
I mean, hey, he's got a shot. What, are you only 25 laps down? He'll be all right.
I'll give you a couple
I know
wave
I've
rounds,
got way
Chris.
more motor, right?
I'll give you a couple wave rounds. We'll see what you can do. This is going to be interesting here, Ryan. I don't know if you've been able to catch any of this race so far, but there's been some craziness in the midfield.
Yeah, no, I've been watching. I was helping the Lake Norman drivers there as the spotter of 3 different cars at the same time, which I felt became pretty useless pretty quick. So thought I'd make better use of the evening here as I'm not in the race. Yeah, I did help them miss that one first wreck we had. I got them to go low, and if I didn't, I think Fody and someone else would have been in it. So
Hey, Robert, these boys need to clear off.
Oh, we'll get them cleared there, Chris. They're still gonna get some, don't you worry.
You coming in this time there, pace car driver?
I'm supposed to. We'll see.
Here we go. Pace car about to make the turn down pit road. Hopefully he doesn't wreck the car. We'll see what he can do.
Oh, that was a 10 out of 10 right there.
Good job,
Yeah,
Chris.
I'm the
Best
best
driving
pace car
I've ever
driver.
seen there, buddy.
That's right.
And we are green once again.
And that was a big jump by that 77 car there.
Surprisingly, nobody got a black flag there. That's a little odd to me. But Trey Idson did get out to the race lead. On the high side, it's Corey Abbott getting pushed by Lake Norman driver Ethan Stanley. On the inside, his teammate William White. We'll see what they're able to do here over the next couple of laps. And Ryan, obviously,
I can tell you why nobody got a black.
why is
We
that,
weren't
Chris?
actually under yellow.
Oh, that's a
But-
good point.
They came up on the racetrack right away.
That's why we needed to clear all going down the back.
Oh, you must have done it then. Good job.
I think Chad might have.
Well,
Yeah, I think so
we'll
too.
give you credit, Chris. Good job, Chris.
Hey, I'll take it. I'll take all the credit.
So, boys, from your experience here, we're getting down to about 20 to go here shortly. You think we get there clean? I don't think so.
No shot. I mean, the runs here, it doesn't matter how good you are. These runs and the blocks that people are throwing, like this right here, like that ain't gonna last for another 3 laps. Never mind 22.
All
so
3 of us were just in the open. How many cautions did we have in the last 15 laps?
a lot, and I was in all of them.
I got caught up in a few, and a couple people that I was talking to correctly guessed who was going to be the root cause of a couple of those too. So it's going to be an interesting time. No, we'll just blame Chris Wright.
Yeah.
Man, just a lap ago I was getting all kinds of credit. Now I'm getting all the blame.
Hey, Chris, did you turn the lights off on that pace car?
Did I turn the lights off? I don't think so.
No, the lights are still on the Chris Wright pace car, causing some blindness to the drivers in their mirrors with those intensely bright Corvette headlights.
Hey, that sucks for them.
Chad's blinking like a Christmas tree again back there, but oh boy.
I think we might have to post the 15 here, Chris Wright.
Oh, it's not getting any better. Oh, we're getting some moves up front now.
Hey, you're the admin.
40, 11. Oh my goodness. Half the field just moved to the top together. Oh, they're wrecking.
Campbell.
Oh.
Adams. Oh, and Ethan Stanley didn't like that one very much.
No, he did not. Well, we're going to have to take a look back at that one, I guess.
Well, I think we're under caution here once again. Corey Abbott involved, Gerald Campbell involved. Lots of guys involved in that one. Let's take a look. We'll back that one up.
I believe Campbell is going to move to the middle of 3.
There's definitely a little bit of netcode there, but also definitely an aggressive move.
Yeah, just an aggressive move gone wrong, and a couple innocent bystanders involved in that one. Ethan Stanley, Jay Connor, Corey Abbott also getting involved in that one rather heavily. His clash is pretty much done.
I think Ethan Stanley might be okay. He might not have
I think
too bad a
Ethan's
game.
okay, for sure. We'll let Corey Abbott get down pit road, and we'll have a chat with him about that incident, but he is driving a modified out there, that 73 machine. Not looking too hot at this point.
No, that car is hurt, and he was the fill-in, I believe, for Seth Rawls, who initially had transferred through. But yeah, him and Gerald, I think, are pretty much done. Ethan got knocked in the left front pretty hard when they came back up the track there. That might hurt him. That's kind of the damage I had in the open race, if that's what we're calling it, earlier, which I was able to get fixed under the long pace laps here. So he should be able to get that fixed and back to 99% shape for the most part.
Yeah, a little bit of a disconnect between that front bumper and the rest of the race car, but I do believe Ethan should be able to get that fixed up and get back out there. Corey Abbott, on the other hand, that machine, I wouldn't be surprised if he blows up at some point with the front end damage that he does have.
Yeah, and I think
Gerald's done as well.
I think we're seeing what we're going to see for the last 20 laps. That's probably not the last caution. We're going to see more aggressive moves. 20 laps at Daytona, kind of asking for everybody to be aggressive and make some crazy moves.
It's the way it goes, unfortunately, here on Super Speedways, as Ethan Burrell, Josh Adams, Jake Connor, Andrew Hardcastle, Ethan Stanley, Corey Abbott, and Gerald Campbell all head pit side, as Ethan Burrell mentioning how he is getting blinded by some Corvette headlights. Chris Wright.
You should be able to hop in it and...
I did. I shut it off. It's off.
Oh, yeah, it is.
If it was a Tesla, your battery would be dead by now. But let's have a word with Corey Abbott, see what just happened from his point of view. Hey, Corey, it's Robert up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Why don't you walk us through what just happened there that unfortunately looks like it's going to bring your clash to an end?
Well, it kind of happened all at once, to be honest. I didn't really see it happen before it happened, if you know what I mean. I was following the high line, and then all of a sudden I looked up in my mirror and Gerald was there, and we were sideways, and that's it.
Now, obviously, like we mentioned, your clash pretty much done at this point with the damage that you do have. But what have you learned here today that you can take forward to the duels on Wednesday and, of course, the Daytona 500 next week?
Just figuring out how these cars can run, how to build the momentum, and just who you can work with, who can push, who is okay with being pushed, stuff like that.
And just before we let you go, Corey, 2 questions. First, any shout-outs you want to give or sponsors you want to thank?
I gotta thank the Abbott Motorsports guys. I think we've got Will up in the top 10 right now. Yeah, he's 10th. So shout out to those guys; they're killing it. And then, yeah, shout out to you guys.
And of course, I do have to ask you. I can see your car on pit road. I see the rear end of it pretty lit up right now. Is Chris Wright's headlights blinding you right now?
Yes, very much.
Chris, come on
Well,
now.
I turned them off. They're off on my end, so. Hey,
All right,
you guys
Corey.
just have to deal with them for the rest of the race. Blame Chad. He wanted the Corvette in here tonight.
Well, Corey, it's unfortunate that your night's come to an end early, but hopefully you picked up some good intel heading into the duels on Wednesday.
Yeah,
Best of luck to you, my friend.
Good. Thank you.
As Corey Abbott just got caught up there in the latest incident, boys, and 17 to go. Chris, we made race picks earlier tonight. Now Ryan's joined us here. Ryan, do you have a pick to win the race at this point?
Ooh, I mean, that's tough. You know, Daytona's a little bit of a lottery, and I will say David Tooker, it's been calm, but he's been running up front this majority of this race. I don't know, is he already taken or no? I might take old David Tooker. I'm not going to play favorites with the Lake Norman cars. I'll take that 19. I know he's up front. That's kind of cheating, but that's who I'm taking.
That's a good pick. Our picks were, Chris, you took Johnny Thomas, is that correct?
Yes, I did.
And I took Andrew Hardcastle, currently running in 17th position. So good pick for you there, Ryan. We'll see how it works out.
Hey, I got a question for you guys. It's a little bit off topic.
Yeah, go for it, bud.
When did we get an interactive radar on iRacing?
I heard something about how that's a thing, but does it
what?
actually work? Like,
Yeah, I've got it up.
weather?
There's no rain right now around Daytona International Speedway.
Oh, that's good.
You know,
that's good.
I was always hoping that they were going to sneak rain in, like, the day of the 24 hours of Daytona and not tell anyone. And then, at 2 in the morning, it just starts pouring rain.
Why
Why
do I feel like it's going to get thrown in just before our Daytona 500 and Chad's not going to turn the feature off? And we're going to be like 10 to go, and all of a sudden, the track is just soaked.
Hey, I think we did a modified race at Stafford, and it was sunset, and we didn't know there were no lights. And then with about 15 to go, it was pitch black, and we had to end the race. So.
Oh man, we'll see what happens here. Barney the flagman waving that arm rather rapidly here as we are green once again. David Tooker with a great jump, help from Trey Holmes behind him. The inside lane is Scott Crump and Jesse Racemius. Pretty much all these drivers have been up in the top 5 for the majority of the night tonight.
Yeah, big push.
Oh boy!
All 3 wide, Tyler Fody.
Tyler.
Fody made a big move, but Jesse's getting left out to dry there in the sucker hole.
Oh! Keep an eye on this one, boys. This might get hairy.
I will tell you, I don't know what it is about Daytona that is new, because that outside wall just grabs you so much easier than I ever remember it doing. Because if you're 3 wide, almost always you're seeing that top line car hitting the wall.
And talk a little bit. We talked about it at the start of the show, but what's it like when you get stuck in the middle like that with cars on either side with this Cup car and the way this package is?
I mean, you're going to the rear, unless, as you see, he gets a little help, and now everyone's stuck, and it just slows you down so much that you're just going nowhere. The side drafts are so strong that it's really the most important thing, as it sort of is in real life too. But I mean, the side draft, and then when you get pulled back, but now look at this, they got pulled back, and now they're kind of getting their stuff straightened out, and they're getting a huge run. So that's where a block is going to hurt somebody, is Chad is blinking again, which is terrifying. But I mean, these guys, they're racing hard right now. Being so close to that wall, if you grab it while someone's right behind you, it slows you down so fast, you're going to cause an accident.
Chad's in the perfect spot for a blinker, right where you want him to be, middle 3.
Yeah,
that's where he always is, though. So even if he's blinking, you kind of expect the car to be there, because Chad's always 3 wide.
I mean, and guys know that this race, I mean, it pays $20 to win, but as you can tell, people really don't care. There's no points, no glory, not much glory at least. This isn't the Daytona 500. This isn't a points race. We're just
that was a huge push.
Here goes Garrison.
Scary Gary absolutely flying through the middle. He's got help from Josh Adams.
And Trey Holmes got pulled to the
Look
middle.
at that side draft that Trey Holmes just put on Justin Fuller. He absolutely pushed him up the racetrack. We'll see how this pays off for Trey Holmes. As of right now, it's not paying off, but we'll see what happens as William White and Josh Adams going to dive to the inside. That could have been really bad right there.
Big moves up at the front, too.
Yeah, terrible. I didn't think Tooker was going to jump to the top like that and leave his teammate there to lead the bottom line, but a whole bunch of Pro Edge affiliates and team members are on that bottom now working together, so this could get interesting as they could take control of this race. If they can all get in a big line against the wall and push really well, it will get hard to make things happen.
Oh, Ethan jumps to the top, not going to wait for Josh. Oh, and here goes the 51. Fuller says now.
Yeah, that's going to screw up all these plans that these guys are trying to make when you...
Oh! Here they go.
Ethan's in the wall. Oh, huge.
Oh, big wreck here.
Yep. That's that 3 wide. It just gets squirrely.
That was horrible. that was bad, boys. Chad Frankenfield looks like he cut across pit road to avoid that one. But we'll take a look, see what just happened to these boys. But Ethan Burrell took a nice visit to the outside wall.
But at the same time, the 51 was getting down into the 43 and was left rear or right rear. But just like you talked about there, Ryan, that 37 went up and grabbed the wall. Top of 3. Yeah, nothing really pushed him up there.
It's really weird how easy it is, and you can do it on your own getting the wall. He really shot up there. I think he got scared. That 51 squeezed in the middle, kind of frightened him, and he pulled up and got the wall. And I don't know what it is. It is really weird, and it's something new that I've noticed lately. And I haven't done a lot of Daytona stuff between now and last season's Daytona 500, and it's really weird how that wall can grab you so easy. But he really went up there and smacked it when that 51 tried to sneak through the middle. But that didn't actually even cause the wreck. It was the 51 got tapped by the 8 in the worst place you can get them out of 4 when your car is really loose, and got them down into the 43, and there they went.
Look at the nose of that 51 machine of Fuller. He's looking like a modified right here. He is going to have to come pit side and get that machine repaired. Otherwise, that could be another caution around the Justin Fuller machine here momentarily.
Yeah, I'd say
those Pro Edge cars, there they come.
Oh, yeah, these guys might need
Need
I need
buffed
to
out?
top up on fuel. Well, no, these are the Pro Edge cars were all involved, is what actually happened for the
Yeah.
most part. The 19,
So while we got
British
time here to
Cup.
this caution, let's talk about what's changed for Lake Norman and for Mountain Man here. I think we're all
Yeah.
working a little closer together, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah, no, I know we've always had a good relationship there between us all, and especially on these super speedway tracks, you need more than just a team of 4 or 5 guys to, to have success. So it's nice working with all you guys. I know we always have good relationships for the most part out on the racetrack, but yeah, I'm looking forward to Daytona. It's going to be a good time. Hopefully, get a good starting spot here Wednesday night and end up competing in the 500. And I guess starting spots do matter because it's tough to get from the back to the front, but the 200 lap 500 mile race, I mean, it's a lot of time to do some work.
I'm still waiting on my key to get into the shop over there at Lake Norman to be able to get all that information.
I don't
guess
have
it's coming, right?
I wish I could give them out.
Fody didn't give me one either, Chris. It's all right. All he did was give me a box of stuff when we took Vince and Isabella over to the team, and that was it. I don't even think Vince got to go in and say goodbye to the boys. So.
And Nick, right? Nick was part of them last year, and he's out with us this year. Yeah,
Well,
I think we're going to get some shop keys.
Nick was part-time with us last season in Mountain Man in the Cup Series, and then adding Johnny Thomas and you, of course, you were already there, but adding Johnny and Jordan and Vince to the team kind of convinced Nick to stick around, give it another go full-time. So it'd be exciting to see what Nick can do back behind the wheel. He was really strong in his couple races he did last year, so when he's going to have that consistency of week to week, I think it's going to be really interesting to see what he can do. But also what's going to be interesting here is what happens in this last 9 or so laps under green. I definitely think we're going to get 2 or 3 more cautions. So
That's it. I'll take the 5.
2, 3, maybe even 4. I don't think we can get 5, Chris.
Oh, we got 2 more in regulation and 3 green-white-checkered.
I don't think we have enough time. Also, just to point out,
I think there's 2 cautions. That's all right.
2? All right. I mean, the field's kind of cut down a little bit, right? We're down to 18 guys, so it's possible. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, Ethan Burrell's pulling off pit road.
Yeah, Burrell's coming out. I wouldn't expect William White to spend too much more time on pit road. I don't really see too much damage on his car. Let's see if we can get a camera.
He might have a headache or.
Let's see if we can get a camera down to his pit box. Yeah, his car looks okay. So
Yeah, it doesn't look that bad. He's still sitting there though. Right rear's got a little damage, but it's not too bad. Barrel's car looks worse than Williams there. And,
yeah, Ethan's car
Barrel cracked out on the
definitely.
lead lap.
Ethan's car definitely has some damage. The darkness of that livery that he has on there being all black kind of hides some of that damage a little bit, but we'll see what happens. Fuller's leaving pit road now, just exited his pit box. We'll
They
see what
gotta get
happens.
going. We're coming to the green. Hey, they got to get going.
Owen Wilson looks like he's done for the night. He's sitting there for a while.
Who's Owen Wilson? Who are you talking about?
Ka-chow.
Yeah, right there, sitting on pit road.
Oh,
Corey
okay.
Abbott, Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson, all right.
Wow, man, come on.
I never watched
Legend of
Cars.
Oh.
I never saw it.
I tell you,
well.
man, right? These Canadians, Ryan. I swear.
Send your hate mail
Is it
to
like banned in Canada? It's too American of a movie. Or something?
send your hate mail to Elite Headquarters, courtesy of Chad Frankenfield. Make sure you put 3 stamps on there because he likes to go 3 wide. As we get set to go green, it's going to be Matthew Weeks and Jesse Racimus on the front row. Let's see what old Rasimai can do up on the high side.
We got Josh Adams. He's been involved in 2 wrecks back up here. Garrison Hogan's
He's
up here.
looking all right. Leighton Norgard up there. This guy was damaged in the open. He got a good push at the end from Corey Abbott to put him into the show. But otherwise, he thought his night was done. Now he's running in position number 3 on the inside lane. Chad's up there. We may get 3 wide.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
That
oh
bottom's
boy,
got the
indeed.
better jump, but they're losing it now. This top's got a huge run.
Yeah,
Big
topside
push
kind of
from
getting
Josh
hooked
Adams,
up better
and you got
here.
Ethan Stanley. He was in that wreck 7 laps ago. He's found his way back to the front.
Yeah.
That's the real Stanner up there. 3rd car on the outside.
Great looking car. Mark Martin.
Oh, that was a really not smart block by Weeks. It paid the price. See you later to the rear.
Yeah, that's not good there.
He's back with his teammate now, though. Tooker gave him a hole, so he didn't actually lose too much. Except for that stacked up the back of the field really bad, and the top has gone way clear of the field. Oh, now Weeks is in the wall. My
Weeks
gosh.
and Tooker into the wall. Burrell and Holmes coming up through the middle. I was about to say Burrell and Fuller. That is not Justin Fuller. That is Trey Holmes.
They
Got
are
the 8
wadded
machine getting up there. We got
back
4
of the
cars clear
field.
on the top.
I don't know that
coming with a run.
I don't know that we finished this lap and a half without a yellow.
Ugh. It is definitely frightening.
Jesse Racimus leading the way here. That push nearly got sideways there between Hogan and Norgard on the inside.
They've actually, it looks like they've calmed down quite a bit, but even when they're running like this, just a line on the top, a line on the bottom, nice and calm, it's still sketchy. You can see even running single file how easy it is to catch the wall and cause something, or you know someone's going to make
And
a move.
that
in not too
33
long.
keeps pushing pretty far over on the right rear of that 22, and that scares me.
Yeah, that is easy to do, and not only does that get close to wrecking a guy, it slows them down, because if you pull too far out on the right rear, you're starting to side draft the guy, and it's just not helping. And now
Here
we've
comes
got
the
a
third
middle
lane.
line. This isn't helping anybody, but they're making it work. They're getting some help in the middle. But here comes that bottom line getting quicker too with Hogan. But once they side draft that 33, that they're all going to slow down right now.
I gotta think Hogan's going to jump to the middle
He's
here.
going to go with the middle for sure.
Oh, Robin has been into the wall.
And Weeks tried to go to the middle too. That's 2 teammates in communication, and they both tried to move to the middle.
Well, they made a smart move not to, because Robin's caught the wall, I think, more than anybody. I've seen him in it a couple times, and it gets sketchy. And it's easy to do. It's very easy to do.
Hogan's working the bottom. Oh, this might be the end.
Nope.
Wow.
It's just
Robin's in the wall again. Robin just went over and hit the wall.
Yeah.
That got a little scary.
He's making sure it was there. He's making sure it's still there.
Well, what this has caused is look at the huge run all these guys in the rear are going to get. We're about to have a
Where are they going to get?
Well, that's the question, but this bottom's rolling. Hogan's pushing Weeks good. I think they're all going to stay right on the bottom, because that's
Is
where
Josh
the chance
Adams
is.
dropped in?
Oh, no. Oh, my gosh, Chad.
Get used to that saying, folks. It's just the start of Speedweeks. Oh, gosh, Chad, that's going to come out many, many times as Jesse Racimus continues to lead. We're coming to 4 to go this
that
time
bottom's
by.
there.
I'm really
Side by
surprised
side now,
Adams did
boys.
not pull down to take the lead.
Weeks is rolling with Garrison pushing. He's got to be getting hot, though. You would think Garrison, he might jump to the top because he's got to be hot. They're almost 4 wide back there with a couple guys. That bottom is that top. Oh, they're wrecking. Oh, my gosh.
Oh,
That's
big
the big
wreck.
one.
Yeah, big wreck here.
Yeah, barrels in it.
That
Jesse
was a
Racimus
big
is
one.
done.
I think that all started Josh Adams pushing on the 70 of Racimus. Spun him right out. And then there was everybody else to get involved.
That was unfortunate right there, boys. Let's take a look and see what in the world just happened to cause that one.
I mean, Racimus went from leading the race to around, and it's that worst spot to get into a guy. It doesn't matter how square you hit him, coming off the banking off of turn 4, those cars. You see it in real life, too, is just those cars get really loose off of 4, and you get into a guy, and it's just all it takes, the slightest tap.
That's just unfortunate right there. Lots of guys just got involved in that one.
Yeah,
Ethan
my pick.
Burrell, Jesse Racimus. I think Tooker did okay getting through that.
Yeah, he got a little bit of damage, but not much. But the 1, the 70, the 37, they got the worst of it.
Adams, Racimus, and Fuller all have mandatory repairs here. And as we are coming to 4 laps to go, we're going to step away for the final time. When we come back, it should be the first attempt of a green-white checker. Don't go anywhere. It's the Elite Clash on the Elite Racing Network.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of...
And we are back here at Daytona, getting set to go green for green-white-checkered attempt number 1. It's Matthew Weeks and Garrison Hogan on the front rows. The pace car about to make the turn down pit road. There he goes, and we're about to go. We're going to go racing here for what should hopefully be the final restart. Great jump by Weeks. I'd expect him to jump down in front of Garrison Hogan, and he does right away. That leaves Ethan Stanley out there all alone on the high side. Chad Frankenfield going to get a run up to the rear end of that machine. That's going to stack up the outside. Let's see if this works for these guys. There's 3 wide already.
He's going to get down there and pull them back.
Yeah, that was a pretty well organized start there onto the bottom. That top line, I think, has the strength though if they can get going here. Oh, this isn't going to work though at all. Oh my goodness.
Norgard going to jump up ahead of
Chad
Stanley.
Chad the middle. Oh, he thinks he's in the middle, but he's clear low. Now he's not.
Now he's
Yeah,
clear
but he's not
nowhere.
gonna have any help because Robin's not going to go with him.
His bottom
Johnny
looking good.
Thomas gonna come up behind in the middle, but looks like Matthew Weeks gonna come around and face the white flag this time.
What a block!
Wow! Norgard going to the middle. Here we go. White flag in the air. It's Weeks and Hogan up on the high side.
3 Lake Norman cars there. 92,
Wow.
8, and 40. Robbins in the wall again, and he wrecked.
There we go. They're dead.
Oh,
Bye-bye.
that everybody. Well, it's not. Oh my gosh, they are wrecking horrifically. But we got
the
5
race for
cars
the win up here.
It's Weeks and Hogan battling
It's
for the
huge
win.
run
Hogan
from the
backing up to
77,
Stanley.
77.
Where did he come from?
Look
Oh,
at the run. The run.
Trey
They didn't
Einson.
draft him.
where did he come from?
Huge run. He's gonna get it.
Here we
They're not
go,
gonna get
coming
to
to the line. Checkered flag. It's Trey Einson. What?
Yeah, he
How?
got a huge. He was so far behind the top 3, and Tooker pushed him. And
How
they
the
didn't,
hell
They
did-
didn't stop it.
What the? Oh my
I
God.
think Weeks had the chance to pull him back with the side draft, but it just wasn't enough.
Oh,
Was there a
my
brake drag back there?
Garrison was on the
flying.
brakes trying to get Ethan on his rear end. We got to watch Trey Einson on this last lap.
Oh yeah. Take a look at Weeks. Look at the telemetry. Weeks was trying to drag back to Hogan, and that's
the
what let
same
that run
thing.
happen.
Yeah, that's the same thing he did in the little preseason Thunder race we did last week with me right behind him. Is he lifted on purpose to try to set up a run or something, and he did it there, and it cost himself.
Yeah, I feel like they were in a good spot. They didn't need to manipulate. There were 3 Pro Edge cars in that top 5.
Wow.
They found a way to lose the race.
Trey
Good for Trey
Einson, man.
He almost, I don't know how he didn't get caught in the right rear and involved in that huge wreck in turn 2, because, man.
He hit Stanley in the rear end
Yeah,
as he went to make that pass.
Faster than he even thought he would, and he did clip him, but he still got by him. That was some impressive
What a
stuff.
drive.
Yeah.
Ethan Stanley ended up 5th. Jesse Racimus barely beat Scott Crump back there.
Wow.
Kyle Henshaw, Norgard, Johnny Thomas ran out the top 10. We had that big wreck over there in 1 and 2 when
Yeah, I don't know
Josh
if you're-
Robin went up
If you're
against the
able
wall
to
for the
replay
last
that
time.
wreck, that was a big old wreck there. If you can replay that one, that was big.
Yeah, the final lap wreck there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was
we
a big
did
one.
see that when we were riding on board with Trey Einson coming around, and just everyone died behind him there. What a race. Well, or what a finish, I should say.
Are you going to have a talk with your teammate over there about hitting the wall?
I don't know. That's not my job. I think Fody's going to want to talk to him.
Yeah, we'll bring in the big man, Frank Fody, to have a word. Let's see what old
He seemed
Franklin's
like he
got
was
to
doing
say.
pretty good working his way to the front. Every time he got there, he found the wall.
Yeah, he was friends with the wall this evening, it seemed.
Well, boys, we do have Trey Einson standing by. Why don't we go ahead and pull in our race winner and see what he's got to say about that finish right there. Go ahead, Chris.
All right, we are now joined by race winner Trey Einson. Trey, what were you thinking there going down the backstretch, and you had to make up all that ground, and then they just kind of gave it to you?
Yeah, I was lucky to not get like a death hook when they all wrecked into one. And then Tooker like yelled lift, and then Fuller was yelling at me to lift. He's like, "You're not gonna win regardless, just lift." I was like, you know what, screw it, worth a shot, right? And then I never in a million years thought that kind of push would create that kind of momentum. So unexpected, but I'll take it.
Now, how did you manage to miss everything tonight? We had that big wreck there. We had some other big wrecks. It seemed pretty crazy out there. What was it like?
I was pretty chill. I had a few moments of like lane changes, took like some runs, but I tried to really just hang out because I haven't driven the next gen since the duels for this league last year when I didn't make the 500 and then I didn't run Cup at all, so didn't really know what the hell to expect getting in here tonight. But it seems like it's the same old thing. But yeah, there's a few wrecks in front of me. They were kind of easily to steer around. I had one right in front of me. I just kind of put the car up against the wall and backed it down until the path cleared. Didn't get any damage, so avoided net code. So really kind of an easy plate race. Kind of hope it goes this way next Wednesday.
Well, before we let you jump out of here and celebrate, who helps get you to the racetrack every week?
Thanks to Units jumping on board the Cup car. That's really about it as far as sponsor wise. Fuller and EJ were in our channel tonight. Kind of, especially at the end when Fuller killed his car for about the third time. I think it finally said I had enough. So he spotted me the last few laps. So that was super helpful. So just appreciate Belly Up and you guys for throwing on a broadcast, and Chad and everybody that makes the league happen.
Well, all right, Trey, congratulations on setting Speedweeks starting out just good for you here, and good luck in qualifying on Wednesday and the duels Wednesday night as well.
Appreciate it, man.
That was Trey Eidson, your winner here of the Clash, and now we do have Matthew Weeks. Ryan, you want to talk to Matthew?
Sure, why not?
All right, here we go.
Hey, Matthew, it's Ryan up here in the booth. How's it going?
Good. How about yourself, man?
Doing all right. Got to watch a bit of a thriller there. So I do want to ask there, going down the backstretch on the last lap, you had what you thought was a pretty good spot you were sitting in, but what was the strategy there? I heard people yelling lift, don't lift, and it ended up not quite working out for you. So what was going on down there?
I seen the wreck in 1 and 2, and I thought it was just Garrison and Ethan Stanley and I. That's all I thought it was. So I seen Garrison lifting, trying to build a run. So I was just riding the brake to make sure he didn't get that run. So I was just trying to watch them two, and then all of a sudden Ethan come out of nowhere, and I'm like, oh, where did he come from? So my mind was I was just trying to outrace the two behind me. That's all I thought was just us three.
Yeah, that run definitely came out of nowhere. I can see exactly where you're coming from. But anything else you could have done different if you knew they were coming? Is there something you would have done different? Would you have just kept in it and blocked the best you could?
I would have blocked the bottom, no doubt. I would have sent it down there.
Love it, love it. Is there anyone you want to thank here before we let you go? Any sponsors you got, teammates?
213 Simware, you guys, Garrison for pushing me at the end. He really gave me some good shots there. Really good pusher, good guy to work with. All the guys at Pro Edge, Chad for putting on this league, and everyone that fueled up. We worked a little bit tonight. We had some awesome racing midfield going 3 wide. So shout out to those guys, and can't wait to come back and do it again next week.
Heck yeah. Well, we'll see you out on the track on this coming Wednesday night. I believe 2 nights from now is the qualifying and the duels, and the 500 next week. So we'll be sticking around here at Daytona for a while. But good luck out there on Wednesday. We'll be seeing you on the track.
All right, man. Thank you.
It was Matthew Weeks, our runner-up here tonight. Doesn't look like we're going to be joined by David Tooker, but guys, just taking a look at the final results here. We'll see if we can get that up on the screen. It was a pretty good race with a solid finish there at the end.
Yeah, that was definitely very exciting. Even with that huge wreck, I mean, all it took was 5 cars to put on a cool show, and hey, Trey Eidson did everything right there at the end. A little bit of luck, but it's Daytona. You need that.
That's exactly it.
Gavel, was it like wearing a glove, just putting the same glove on that you used to wear here a couple years ago? When I first started doing this broadcast stuff, Gavel was my producer, so it's the first time we've worked together in quite a while.
I know, it's been a while since I remember doing the B series, the Xfinity cars there for quite some time. It was always fun, so thought I'd get my feet wet again up here in the booth. So who knows, maybe, well, hopefully I make all the rest of the races this season. I shouldn't have that issue hopefully anymore, but yeah, if you ever need a hand, give me a shout. But hopefully I'm out on the racetrack. But I do love to talk. I'm definitely guilty of that. So hey, pull me up under green. I don't care. Do whatever. I'm always around.
Remember you said that.
Yeah.
We got that noted. We got that noted down. But boys, I do have to ask before we head into Wednesday night, what's your plan for qualifying in the duels? Is it going to be you going to run at the front the whole time in the duels, or are you focusing on those guys on your team that maybe haven't been fortunate enough to get a charter?
We got some people on the Lake Norman side that will be trying to help, and I'm gonna hopefully be home in time to make the duels. I don't think I'm gonna be back in time. I got some work stuff going on, so I don't know if I'm gonna be back in time for qualifying. So I don't really have a strategy from that. So I think I'll be in the second duel hopefully if it starts late enough, and be starting from the rear from there and trying to help out whatever teammates I've got that need it in there, because I know they're only taking one open car. So I know we got Mr. Frank Fody and I think Josh Robin and maybe one or two others that are going to be trying to make the show. So we'll be
Josh
helping
got
out
to
them.
find a way to not hit the wall.
Yeah,
He's
we'll
helping
teach
himself a
him
little bit.
We'll teach him a thing or two. It's all right.
Well, as for me, Robert, I'm just going to go out there and race. If I get a chance to help a teammate or an affiliate, since we're with the Lake Norman boys now, and we'll help them out. But I'm not going to change my race to try to get around them or anything. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to try to sit on the front row, try to run at the front of the duel, and see where it shakes out. If we qualify in the back, we'll figure it out. Use it as a test session. Whatever we need to do. We're in the show, so I guess if we get wrecked, we get wrecked. It's all going to be fun.
That's exactly it. And it does look like David Tooker's joined us, so we'll get a quick word with our third place finisher. Hey, David, it's Robert up in the booth. You get a copy, my friend?
I do.
Came home third, just a little bit short of the win. What more did you need to do there to get it done?
Honestly, I didn't really see myself being in that position with that wreck happening in the middle of 1 and 2. We were right smack in the middle of all of it, and kind of got lucky with some netcode. A car phased through me, and I was able to keep going. But really, the call of our race was making the call to Eidson. I called over the mic to have him drag the brake a little bit just to give us a chance. And I gave him a huge shot going down the back, going into 3, and I really think that's what at least got him the win and myself in third. But, it was just it was a really fun race, to be honest. We got caught in some wrecks pretty early on, but thankfully the damage doesn't affect these cars too bad, so we were able to get it all fixed. But, I think, if anything, I don't really think we could have won from that position. I think we were kind of just trapped right there. As soon as Weeks got down on my right side, it kind of just side drafted me. I knew I was settling for second or third, but probably just had to be a little bit closer to those front 4. Other than that, really a solid showing for us out at Daytona. So really happy with that.
Absolutely. And looking ahead to the duels on Wednesday and, of course, the 500 next week, what can you take from tonight's race, if anything, to put towards those events and finding yourself a little bit closer to victory lane?
Just making sure my offset and my pinion are correct this time. That definitely messed me up a little bit, at least at the start of the run. We got a little comfortable with it in the later half, but it's just spotting who's out in front of you and just working with your teammates there. I kind of feel bad I let the 77 beat the 11, but I think the 11 was dragging the brake going into 3, which gave us such a huge shot of momentum. But I think the goal for the next duels is just probably be a little bit more careful, considering that's going to set the starting lineup for the Daytona 500, and having that starting position definitely helps, especially with that early wreck that we all know that's probably going to be coming. So we just got to be a little bit better as far as spotting out teammates and spotting out momentum, and we did a lot of that tonight. I think I read a lot of some good runs. I made some good moves up front to get myself to the lead. So I think we got all we could learn from this, and just looking forward to the duels.
Well, before we let you go here tonight, any sponsors you want to thank or shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, a huge shout out to JD Designs for sure. He's definitely painted all my cars and made some beautiful paint schemes. He made this one for me tonight, so huge shout out to John. Everyone at Pro Edge Racing, we worked really well tonight, especially with some affiliates of ours. It was just tricky, it's a fun race. You're not really looking to go up there and mess anything up, or go up there and really the goal is just try to win. Doesn't matter who it is or who you're beating. So just glad we got a little bit of a sneak peek of what the car and what the track's going to be like for this race, or the 500. Also a huge shout out to all our sponsors that sponsor Elite, and also you guys up in the booth. What you're doing up here is awesome, so I really appreciate you guys.
Well, congratulations on a solid run, and we'll see you Wednesday night for qualifying and the duels.
Alrighty, thank you.
That was David Tooker, our third place finisher here tonight. And guys, some final thoughts from you. We'll start with you, Ryan. Final thoughts.
Yeah, I'm glad I got to race a car a little bit in the open race and then watch, because definitely learned a lot for Wednesday and then for the 500 next week. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's tough to drive. It's tougher than I feel like it has been in the past, especially with that wall. And being 3 wide is sketchy in the middle and on the top. It's easy to wreck. We saw it. So I think we'll clean it up a little bit for the duels and the 500. Those races people take a little bit more serious and maybe are less worth risk taking. But when it comes down to the end of those races, we'll get a little stupid, I'm sure. But hey, we need a little bit of stupidity to get along, right? So I'm looking forward to this coming week. I think that race was a lot of fun. I'm happy to see Trey Eidson win. Cool to see some different names up front winning. So good for him. Good race for the most part, and ready for some more Daytona for the next 9 days.
Absolutely. And Chris, any final thoughts from you, my friend?
You know, we got to, the 3 of us got to run in the open, got to see a little bit of what it was like, got some track time, be our best practice probably in the draft before the duels. So I think it was good for all of us to get that seat time, get a feel for what it's like out there. Learned a lot about, you know, from practicing and then running that open, we learned a lot, you know, about what the momentum feels like out there when you lose it, when you have it, when people are on your right rear. And then in the race here that we all got to watch and be a part of this broadcast, we got to see what it was like to get in the middle. One thing that I saw that I'm making a note of is it's kind of the same thing as last year. When you go to the middle, you want to have a place to land. And I felt like the guy that did it the best tonight was Garrison Hogan. Every time he went to the middle with some momentum, he always had a place to land on the other side and didn't get stuck in the middle. And some other guys made some moves to the middle and then just got stuck there. So they moved forward for just a second, and then they immediately lost everything they gained and then some more. So it's one of the things that stuck with me is going to be, you know, be smart about when you make your move, how you make your move, especially if you're going to have to use that middle lane. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. You know, it's qualifying, the duels, stress-free. You know, outside of our starting position, a lot of guys are going to be having high-stress nights trying to make the race. You know, I think, 15, 20 guys are probably going to get sent home. So tune in on Wednesday to watch and check all that out and see who makes the field. Qualifying will be a fun broadcast. I mean, you're going to have your typical Cup crew. Robert and myself probably bouncing in, be pulling drivers in. Gavel might be back up here for a minute if he can make, you know, if he gets home in time. You know, it's going to be the most laid-back broadcast of the year is always the qualifying for the 500 because guys are coming and going and whatnot. I'm excited to see what Belly Up has in store for us here with the lead. It's going to be a great season here. Lots of new things going to be going on. Everybody make sure to keep up with Twitter and everything that's going on. It's going to be a fun season. I'm excited about getting it started.
Absolutely. Got to shout out Blue Egg Marketing, the marketing department for small businesses, Worldwide Technology, Raceway, Belly Up Sports, and everyone that makes this happen here at the Elite Racing Network. On behalf of Chris Wright, Ryan Gavel, my name is Robert Hill Jr. Thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you right back here Wednesday night for Cup qualifying and the duels right here on the Elite Racing Network. Have a good night, everybody.